Hello, students. Hello, boys and girls. Welcome back to quarter three of the report card special episode. I know it's nothing. I feel like it's been a while. I probably should have done it last week, but like I said, I missed last week just because I had a lot of shit going on, a lot of work, a lot of all this other crap. Life hits you. It is what it is. So let's talk about it. I did the tiers beforehand. Actually, I put everyone beforehand, and we're gonna talk about why I put them there. Obviously, as you say, A minus is empty only because I feel like teams haven't been. I don't know how to explain it. Like the top three, the Niners, Cowboys, and Ravens are playing the best football out of the last 4 weeks out of everybody right now. San Francisco and Dallas both just beat Philadelphia. Um, back to back weeks. They just not the Niners just beat the Seahawks, and Niners are still looking like the best functioning team in the NFL. Cowboys, they've been on a hot streak all year ever since they lost to Philadelphia in what was it, eight, week 9, whenever that was, when they played at Philadelphia. Ever since then, they've beaten every single team. And they kicked my team's ass, the Eagles. They kicked their asses 33-13. We decided to not show up, so it's whatever. That's why they're all down at the B tier, but we'll get to that in a second. Ravens. So let's actually go and look at these teams' schedules. Let's look at the Niners first. Real quick. From the past. Let's do like last 4 or 5 games. So like I said, they just beat the Seahawks, crushed the Eagles, unfortunately, beat the Seahawks again on Thanksgiving, and beat the Bucks. And yeah, they've been on the winning streak ever since the bye week. So after the bye week, they've been kicking everyone's ass. So not much surprise. Niners are the best team in the NFL. Not shocking to say. Cowboys. Let's see. What the fuck are we doing? Sorry about that. Yeah, it's week 9. So week 10, crushed the Giants, crushed the Panthers. Not surprised that they're the worst team in the NFL. Crushed the Commanders. Barely beat the Seahawks, but that was the best Thursday night game we've had all year. Ever since Amazon had the rights to Thursday Night Football, that was the best Thursday night game they've ever had. And once again, they kick our asses. So let's look ahead real quick to what they have. They have the Bills, at Dolphins, home against Detroit, and at Washington. The way they're winning, they could easily go 4-0, or they could go 3-1. I think they're gonna lose at least one of these games. I don't know. I don't know which game they're gonna lose, but I think they're gonna lose at least one of them. I don't know. I can't trust the Bills. I don't trust the Bill. They can lose one of these games. The only problem is I don't know which team they're gonna lose to, because I don't trust any of these teams. I don't trust the Bills. I don't trust the Dolphins. And I don't trust the Lions. Lions just lost to the fucking Bears, and they play the Broncos on Saturday. The Lions have a tough end of the schedule. But we'll talk about Detroit we'll talk about Detroit, these teams in a little bit. But the best bet would be for the Eagles to win the NFC East. It'd be the Dolphins or the Bills to beat them. But like I said, I don't trust the Bills. They're too up and down, and Miami hasn't beaten a team over 500 yet this year. So that's why I have those two teams in the 18s. Now let's go over the Ravens. Let's find their thing. Schedule. Later. So their last loss was to the Browns at home. And then after that, they've been on a winning streak. They've beaten the Bengals. They beat the Bengals 34-20, and unfortunately, that's the game where Joe Burrow got injured. Beat the Chargers 20-10. They had their bye week, and they beat the Rams in overtime. So they went 3-1 this little stretch. Let's go the week before as well. And they crushed Seattle. 37-13. And now let's look at the end of their schedule. They face Jacksonville Sunday night. They face San Francisco on Christmas. Sunday they week 17 they play the Dolphins, and they play the Steelers last week of the year. So they should be able to win the AFC North. The toughest game left is San Francisco. Obviously, these are the two best teams in football. I believe that the Ravens and the 49ers are the two best teams in the NFL as of this current moment. And this game, the game week 16 on Monday night on Christmas night could definitely be a Super Bowl preview. 49ers and Ravens. So that's a toss-up. That's the only game. That's the only questionable game for the Ravens that they have, because they can easily beat Jacksonville. They can easily beat Miami, because I don't trust Miami. And Steelers, they're probably, depending on what happens, depending on whether they win the division or not, but they're going to be fighting for the number 1 seed. So they're probably going to go all out against Pittsburgh as well for the number 1 seed. So let's see. Who would I have next? Dolphin, the B+ tier. These are teams, even though the Browns are a wild card team, I think they're the most, actually, you know what? I don't even know if there's a team enough to, like, I feel like it's just these 3 teams, and then, yeah, there's a whole other tier in between, but I don't feel like the Dolphins are better than the Dolphins are not better than the Eagles or Chiefs. So and neither are the Lions, and neither are the fucking, Browns, for that matter of fact. I do think the Browns are better than this is more accurate, I think. I know this is a little crazy to not have teams in an A- or B+ tier, but after, like, really thinking about it, like, these are the only real 3 Super Bowl contenders left. Like, easily the 3 best teams in the NFL: the Niners, Cowboys, and Ravens. Unfortunately, my Eagles are not part of that tier anymore. We would have to win out, and our defense is gonna have to improve, and our offense is gonna have to fucking improve as well. The whole team just needs to be fucking better. So yeah, let's just go over the whole B tier. I have the Eagles, Chiefs, Browns, Jags, Dolphins, and Lions. And like I said for the Eagles already, I'm already ranting, but I'm gonna just rant on a little more about my Eagles. We did not look good. I mean, yes, we had arguably the toughest stretch schedule-wise in the NFL. Let's go over it real quick. Let's go over our really tough fucking stretch. So we beat Dallas the first time, 20-23 at home. We go on the road. We beat Kansas City, 21-17 in a hard-fought game. Week 12, Bills, another hard-fought game. This is where Josh Allen actually had a great football game, other than the one interception. This was Josh Allen's probably the best game of this season. But obviously they bumped it down because we got our asses kicked these last 2 weeks against the 49ers and the Cowboys. Like, I still believe in I still believe in the Eagles. I still think we're obviously going to make the playoffs. Unless we just lose out, which we're not going to lose out. Realistically, the Eagles are too good of a football team to lose out the rest of the schedule. The only tough team we have is right here, Seattle. We got to focus on them. We got to go into fucking Seattle and beat their fucking ass. We're not going to beat their ass, but we're going to win the game. I'm confident we're going to win. Because who knows about the hell of Geno Smith right now. But even if Drew Lock's still keepable back up, and I'm just concerned about DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, and Jackson Smith and Jigba having their way against our defensive backs. Because if we don't get to the quarterback, our defense is ass. Like, this is the only game I'm concerned about. Other than that, I'm not concerned about the Giants twice in 3 weeks. I'm definitely not concerned about the Cardinals because they're not making the playoffs. So I know I'm kind of overreacting a bit when it comes to putting them in the B, but I can't justify and put them in the B+ tier as of right now because they looked bad at those 2 losses. Now the Chiefs. Now let's go to the Chiefs. 8-5. I believe they lost their last couple of games. Hold on. Let's actually look at the schedule. So, yeah, they lose to the Broncos second time. Beat Miami in London. Already talked about the loss to them. Yeah, they're 1-3 this last 4 games. Holy shit. That's actually wild. I don't know if Mahomes ever went 1-3 during a stretch during his NFL career. This is a first for him, I think. So yeah, lose to us. I talked about that a little bit. They beat the Raiders' ass by 2 touchdowns. They were struggling. They were down by 14-0, I think, in the first quarter, but they came back and won. They took care of business. Lost to the Packers somehow at Lambeau, and they lost to the Bills at home. So now let's go over these last stretch of games. They've got the Patriots. They're in New England. They're easily going to win that game. Week 16, they play. Oh, they're playing on Christmas too. They play Christmas against the Raiders. They should win. Chargers, they should win. And the Bengals, that's the only other iffy kind of game I have for them. They should beat the Bengals. If the Bengals had Joe Burrow, I'd be picking the Bengals to win. But at the same time, the Chiefs have been struggling, and the Bengals they're still in the hunt. They've won the last couple of games, so I would definitely say it's more of a toss up now from the way the Chiefs are playing. Like, their defense is still really good. The only issue with the Chiefs has is their wide receivers. Other than Travis Kelce, they have no one else who can catch a goddamn football. Kadarius Toney lined up off sides, and Mahomes lost his shit. For whatever reason, Mahomes lost his shit, even though he's completely in the fucking wrong to lose his shit over a call like that. Yeah. So now Browns. Let's go over the Browns because I don't remember what the hell they did. Let's figure out what the hell the Cleveland Browns did. So let's see. Week 9, yeah, crushed Arizona 27-0. They beat Baltimore 33-31. Yeah, last second field goal against Baltimore. They beat the Steelers, lose to Denver, lose to the Rams. Actually, yeah, they shouldn't be in the B plus here. What the fuck? I mean, yeah, the Jacksonville looks good. Now they started DTR, Dorian Thompson Robinson. They started who else did they start? I don't even remember who else they started. No, they should be at least B minus as of right now. I kind of biased of me to put them in the B tier only because of their good against Jacksonville. That was their one of the better wins of the year. I forgot they lost to the Rams by fucking 2 touchdowns and not 2 touchdowns. 17. I can't math. And the Broncos. Let's see. Speaking of the Broncos, I might have to move them up. Where do they have them at? C plus? Oh, they're definitely B minus. Hold up. I could arguably make them a B. Let's put them B minus for right now. But we'll go over Denver in a little bit. We'll revisit the Denver schedule in a little bit. And now let's make our predictions for the Browns this last stretch of the year. They're facing the Texans. Okay, so this is gonna be good. This is gonna be a favorable stretch for the Cleveland Browns. They can easily go 2-2, but 2-2, 3-1. I think they definitely beat the Bears. Texans, they're pretty even. But if CJ Stroud plays, Texans have favorite for quarterback. But I really like the Browns defense. I think the Browns are the best defense in the league. It's between like the Browns and Cowboys. Browns, Cowboys, and 49ers and Ravens are like the top 4 defenses. Jets you could probably throw in there. Last week 17 game of the year, Browns and Jets. They're gonna beat them. And Bengals, depending on what the playoff is, the Bengals have a good chance to still be fighting for the playoffs, so they're probably gonna start all the starters there. So that's the Browns. Who do I have? So I've got Steelers, Texans. No. Actually, I just went on the Browns. They're gonna be my here. So Jags, Dolphins, and Lions. Jags. Let's look at. I think they got a tough schedule at the end of the year. So they play the Ravens next. I know that. Let's actually quickly recap. Sorry, I'm tired. Yeah, got their ass kicked by San Fran. Tennessee beat Tennessee by 20. Barely beat Houston, but that's a big win for them. And they lost their other 2 games by 3 and 4 points. So now, actually, they have a very favorable end of the year schedule. The only game they're probably gonna lose is the Ravens game. Ravens are one of the better teams in the NFL. They're probably gonna lose that game. They can beat Tampa. That's kind of a draw match. Panthers they can beat, and the Titans they can beat. So they could easily claim the AFC South. I can't fucking speak today. Dolphins. Yeah, I don't trust the Dolphins. But let's recap anyway. Lost to Kansas City. We all know that. Beat the Raiders by a touchdown. Crushed the Jets. Crushed the Commanders. Barely lost to the Titans. So actually, uh, yeah, I guess no, they're in the right tier. I would say B because I don't trust them. Let's move this over. Yeah, because they haven't beaten a winning team this year. They're gonna beat the Jets, but they got two tough games against the Cowboys and the Ravens. I don't trust them to win that game. And hell, even the Bills. The Bills crushed them the first time. So unless they can realistically go 1-3, they go 10-7. I don't even know if they win the division at 10-7. That'd be insane if they did. Oh yeah, I don't trust Dallas. I don't trust them to beat Dallas. Dallas is too good of a team. Ravens, too good of a team. Bills, even as up and down the Bills are, they have beaten good teams. So we'll see who else. And the Lions. Ooh, yeah, the Lions. I had confidence in them. Now I don't. Because let's look at the Lions' end of the year schedule. They have a very tough end of the year. Well, now looks to be a tough end of the year schedule. They beat New Orleans. They lose to the Bears. So they have Broncos, who are a good team in the playoff hunt. They're at Minnesota. Despite only winning 3-0 last week, they're still in the playoff hunt. They're the sixth seed in the wild card. I want them to beat Dallas, but they're not going to beat Dallas. There's just no way. As of right now, after losing Chicago, I don't think they're going to beat Dallas. Their offense is going to. I mean, their defense is going to get shredded by Dallas's offense. So yeah, it could really be Week 18 wins the NFC North. It could be up to the Vikings and the Lions. This game right here, which is crazy to think. Because I expected the Vikings not be as good as they were last year, but at the same time, they should have been a little bit better. But whatever. All right, now let's go over the Broncos because they've got. I'm curious of what their schedule looks like at the end of the year because I know they played Detroit. That's the only game because we just talked about that. There we go. So let's recap real quick what they did. They beat Buffalo on Monday night, beat Minnesota by 1 point. Browns, that was their best victory. Actually, Browns and Chargers were the best victory, and they barely lose to the Texans, but Russell Wilson threw 3 interceptions, so that doesn't help. So let's go over our predictions for the last quarter this year. Lions, they can easily beat. Patriots, they can easily, I won't say easily, but they can beat. Chargers and Raiders, these two teams, they just beat the Chargers. They're going to beat them. Raiders, they lost them at the beginning of the year by 1 point, but they're probably going to beat them. So a very good chance that this team goes 4-0. Let's see. Hold on. Where are they at? What's the record? 7-6? I wish it told us. Yeah, right here. Let's go right here. So they're 7-6. They can easily win the next 4 games. Yeah, they can easily go 11-6, and that might get them the division, depending on what the Chiefs do. So let's see what we didn't even look at the Chiefs' schedule, did we? No, we did. I already forgot. Let's go over Chiefs again. Because this is really interesting. Like I'm so fascinated by the fact that the Broncos are only 1 game behind. Oh, they got New England, win. They could go 3-1. So if they lose to the Bengals, that would depend on conference record. I don't know who has the better conference record off the top of my head, but if both these teams go 11-6, that'd be insane. So I think the Chiefs wouldn't need to sweep out the rest of the year in order to win the division. Which for some reason that blows my mind. I don't know why, but that blows my mind so much. Oh my god. So Steelers are at B minus only because they have not looked good. They're like the low end tier of B minus. Only because even though they're still in the playoffs, they lost the last couple weeks. The last loss against New England is not a good loss. And Cardinals. They lost to 2, 3, and 10 teams. That's why they're barely. Actually, you know what? Because of that, they should be in the C plus tier. Like even though they're in the playoffs, the last two losses really crush it for them. Bucks and Vikings. We went over the Vikings. Like I said, Vikings could be their last. They still in the division hunt. They could easily win the NFC North, depending how what the lines do. Because the Lions have a very tough end of the year. Let's go over the Bucks schedule. Because I'm curious to see what their end of the schedule is actually like. Because I think they only remember them playing Jacksonville. Let's find out. Here. I'm tired. Sorry. Um, at Green Bay, that's a toss up of a game. Like these two games are toss ups, if we're being honest. Because I don't know, Green Bay, they're inconsistent as well, but Jordan Love's looked really good. He definitely looks like the future quarterback for the Green Bay Packers. The Jags, like I said, they're up and down as well, but I think they can win, but the Travis Lawrence injury doesn't help, and I think they have a pretty tough end of this year as well. Saints they beat once. Saints are too inconsistent for my liking, in the Panthers. So they might win this if they go 2-2. They might win this division with an 8-9 record again, which would be fucking ass. That would be total and complete fucking ass. Like what a joke the NFC South is. I hate it. All right, let's go over the Green Bay schedule because that's actually let's go over the C plus tier. Packers, Bengals for right now. Only even though they've won the last two games, they're still outside the playoffs, and I don't think they have that great a chance to make the playoffs because there's just the wild card for the AFC is just so unbelievably nuts right now. The only team I really don't see making the playoffs is the Colts. And who's up there next? Let's look at that. Let's look at it right now. Actually, playoff picture. So we got the Broncos, and Bills. These like the only real four. Let's just go to the four teams. These are the only teams who still have a realistic shot to make the playoffs. Saints, I don't think they're gonna make it though. But let's not go. Oh, tired. Sorry. I don't care. Bills still have a chance to make the NFC. Let's be realistic about the NFC. The only team who really still has a chance to make the playoffs are the Rams. And now we'll take the Packers fucking up, really. And but for the AFC, it's gonna be a dogfight. I don't trust Pittsburgh, and I don't trust. It's not that I don't trust the Colts. I just don't know if they're gonna win out. Because I definitely think the Texans and Broncos can definitely both take the 6 and 7 seeds, or depending on what Cleveland does, they may just stay. They may fall off too, but we'll see. Um, let's see. Yes, Steelers. Actually, let's look at the Steelers schedule real quick. Eight. Da-da-da. They beat Green Bay, lose to Cleveland, beat the Bengals the first time, and oh yeah, they lost the last 2 weeks. So yeah, 1-3. They deserve to be where they're at. So they got the Colts next, which is gonna be a dogfight for them. Bengals, who knows? Jake Brown looks a lot better this time than he did the first time. Will it be enough for the Bengals to win? Who knows? See, they're and they end the year tough at Seahawks and at Ravens. No matter what, even if Seattle is out of the playoffs, they're still a tough team to play. So especially in Seattle, so that must be a tough game for them. And I think what hurts the most for them is not having Kenny Pickett. So I don't see the Steelers making the playoffs. Rams still have a shot. Colts. Let's go with the Colts schedule because I'm curious about what their schedule looks like too. Because I know they play the Steelers, so we just went over that. Let's recap what they did real quick. They beat the Patriots in London, beat the Bucks, beat the Titans, and they just lost the Bengals. So Steelers, they're a tough team. Like the Colts are kind of a tough team. Pittsburgh says they can beat. They got the rest of the year at Falcons versus the Raiders and at home against the Texans, which will probably determine the wild card spot. Which AFC South team gets to the playoffs with this game right here. That's what I'm guessing. So where I have them at, I have them in Jesus Christ, my tears are fucking everywhere. C plus as of right now. Yeah, I think that's fair. For the Texans right there, only because yeah. Well, technically the Colts are in the plus. I could switch. I should switch these two, but all right, whatever. Doesn't matter. Falcons and Saints. I have them at C only because actually they have a losing record. Should I really put them on C minus? Because I really don't see either of these two teams winning the NFC South. At this point, I only see Tampa. But let's check their schedules real quick. Let's check the Falcons and Saints schedule because I think they play each other again. Let's check the Saints and then Falcons. Check the Saints schedule first. Let's see. Week 9, beat the Bears. Lost to the Vikings. They had a bye week. Falcons, they lose. Oh, Saints aren't a losing. They just won their last game. So they should beat the Giants. Ooh, they got the Rams. That's a tough game, especially in LA. Rams are playing really well. And they end the year with at Tampa Bay and against Atlanta. These two games, they lost to Atlanta the first time, lost to Tampa Bay the first time. I don't trust them anymore. I did at the beginning of the year, but now I don't trust them. Now let's look at Atlanta at the end of the year. Before we do that, let's look over what they did recently. Lost to the Vikings, lost to the Cardinals, beat the Saints, barely beat the Jets 13-8, and they just lost to Tampa Bay. So Carolina, that's a win for them. Colts, probably not a win. Bears, honestly, at this point, it's a toss-up because they look good. Bears they looked really good against Detroit. But we'll see. They could beat them. So realistically, they could go 3-1. And they'd be what, 9-8? And 9-8 is definitely gonna be enough to win this division because it's fucking dog water. Fucking dog shit division. Let's go with the Bills schedule because I'm curious to see what they have. I know they have the Cowboys. I think they face them next. Let's recap what they did real quick. Lost the Bengals, lost the Broncos, crushed the Jets, and lost the Eagles. Had their bye week, beat the Chiefs. So they beat the two teams who were in the Super Bowl last year, but they lost to everybody else in the last 5 game stretch. They went 2-3. Other than the fucking Cowboys, they have a very favorable schedule. They're what, 7-6? They could be 10-7. They could still make the playoffs. Yeah, I don't trust them against the Cowboys. Chargers, they can get in. They can beat the Chargers. And even though they lost the Patriots the first time, they have a better chance of beating them now. And like I said, Dolphins, can't trust them. I don't trust the Dolphins. I know it's not really that much of a hot take, but like still. Seahawks earned C minus only because they've been on a fucking 4-game losing streak. I think it's the first time in Pete Carroll's career as an NFL coach he was on a 4-game losing streak, or at least with the Seahawks is, I believe. I heard that stat somewhere. I don't remember where. Let's go over what they did. Got their ass kicked by the Ravens, beat Commanders, lost the Rams, lost the Niners. Oh yeah, L. There's just L stacking on top of each other. Eagles, they have had the Eagles number for like the past, whenever they face them the past fucking decade, like last 13 years, whatever. Since after 2008, the Seahawks have owned the Eagles. They've had their number, unfortunately. Titans, yeah, they beat the Dolphins, but again, the Dolphins, you can't trust the Dolphins, so. I think if Geno Smith comes back, they beat the Titans. Steelers, we can beat at home and at Arizona. They could end up like 2-2, 3-1. Will it be enough to make the playoffs? They're 6-7. They end up at 9-8 again. I don't think it's enough to make actually, it could be. I don't know. Could be enough to make the playoffs. And these 3 teams, we're not really going to go over because they're not going to make the playoffs. Like Seattle, I could move them up to C, but again, they lost fucking 4 in a row. I'm not moving up to the C tier. They're staying at C minus. And which is crazy because they still have the best chance to make the playoffs. Definitely the best chance out of all these teams right here because Titans, Jets, Chargers, Bears, and Giants, they're not making the playoffs. D list is Raiders, Commanders, and Cardinals, definitely not making the playoffs. And F tier, Panthers and Patriots, only because they lost. Not lost. they're eliminated from playoffs, so that's why they're in the F tier. Not really much to go over the D and F tier. So basically, all these teams are basically eliminated. Don't trust them. So yeah, that's the report card. I will see you guys at the end of the year for the final report card. See who makes the playoffs, see who's out, and we'll go over how they did that season.